Apple cider vinegar and fat loss? Oh, stick around. A lot of benefits here. So, apple cider vinegar. You start with the apple juice, basically the sugar in the apple juice. And the bacteria, yeast, and microbes turn it into alcohol and eventually into vinegar or acetic acid. This happens because when you're not heating the apple juice or using apple juice that's pasteurized, it goes through fermentation and eventually becomes vinegar. So, what are the benefits of it and is it legit? Yeah, it's legit. First off, it's gonna help you absorb minerals. Magnesium, calcium, iron, they all need a certain pH in your stomach to be absorbed. This is going to help you absorb those. If your stomach's too alkaline, you're not absorbing them so easily. If apple cider vinegar alone is helping us absorb those, it's worth taking. Magnesium, cardiovascularly, we know about all those benefits. Calcium, a lot of bone benefits, a lot of benefits in terms of lowering cholesterol. And iron has a load of benefits too. Iron is predominantly used to help make hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein found in your red blood cells. So listen, there are three really important minerals. You need them, it's going to help you absorb them. Secondly, apple cider vinegar is also going to help you absorb vitamins, specifically vitamins B, C, and K. Vitamin B, you know, is usually associated with energy optimization. Vitamin C, you've heard a lot about in terms of immune function. You know, if you have a cold, take vitamin C, stuff like that. Vitamin K isn't talked about quite as much. It's fat soluble rather than water soluble. It also helps with your blood and your bones and kind of sounds spooky. It helps with blood and bones. It's good for you as well. It can't hurt. Thirdly, apple cider vinegar is going to help you speed up digestion. It's going to activate enzymes in your stomach that may be dormant. Why is it good to speed up digestion? Why is slow digestion bad? Slow digestion or indigestion sometimes can cause bloating, gas, discomfort. I mean, you can feel really farty. Do you want to be farty? Of course not. I don't want to be farty. Am I farty? Not to mention, if you're suffering from indigestion, you're not getting as many good things, the vitamins, nutrients, minerals out of the food, the healthy food that you could be. So get more bang for your buck. Fourth, apple cider vinegar is going to help with reflux. Years ago, when I was doing a lot of theater shows on like musicals and stuff like that, and I was working with vocal coaches a lot, it was like a lot of diaphragm work, and I was experiencing a lot of reflux. It wasn't fun. It's uncomfortable. It sucks. I was taking like omeprazole and Tums and other stuff for it. In retrospect, I wish I hadn't been doing that. See, reflux is when the acid in our stomach comes up. This actually happens when our stomach is not acidic enough. The medications, the omeprazole, the Tums, whatever the doctor gives you, they work for the time being. However, they create an environment in the stomach that actually makes it less acidic. Again, if it's less acidic, then that valve ain't closing. I mean, you're probably making your condition worse. Eventually, we become dependent on these medications. It's great for the companies selling the medications. It's not so good for you and myself. Side note, another name for chronic reflux is called GERD. The good news is the only side effect of taking these medications for GERD is more GERD. Wait a minute, I feel like Rick James stomping my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch. Think I'm gonna grind my feet on somebody's couch? I got a little more sense than that. Yeah, I remember doing that. So you're telling me that you're giving me a medication and the side effect of the medication is the reason I'm taking the medication? Yeah, maybe don't do that. Or listen to your doctor and do it. I don't know. I don't know anything. Fifth benefit of apple cider vinegar. One, two, three, four, fifth. Apple cider vinegar helps your body break down protein more completely. Protein breaking down becomes amino acids, which of course is better for your muscles. Sixth benefit, apple cider vinegar helps strengthen your immune system. That's always good to hear. Strengthen that sucker. Apple cider vinegar actually does this by helping your white blood cells speed up. It gets them to where your body needs them to be faster. It's like nitrous for your immune system. I live my life a quarter cup of coffee at a time. Seventh benefit, apple cider vinegar also helps you lower cholesterol. It does this because it lowers your insulin levels, which can also help you with blood pressure. Lower insulin levels equated with lower blood pressure. Of course, you talk to your doctor about that if that's a problem for you. That's a pretty serious thing. Lastly, here is the big one you want to hear about: apple cider vinegar and fat loss. Notice I waited until the end. So, there are a few ways that apple cider vinegar may help you lose fat, speed up fat loss. But first, What do the studies actually say? Studies have shown that in apple cider vinegar versus placebo groups, the apple cider vinegar groups have had more fat loss. They've improved their BMI. They've lowered their visceral fat. That's the one you really don't want in between the organs. And they've also lowered their triglycerides. Triglycerides, why the heck are we so concerned with them? Because triglycerides are the storage form of fat. That's like, when you feel it. We obviously don't want to have high triglyceride levels because that means we have more fat storage. The first way apple cider vinegar helps us lose fat, right, or where we have those triglycerides holding fat, is kind of the most simple way. And it's also why I started taking apple cider vinegar probably a long time ago. I don't know, it's been a while. Apple cider vinegar helps regulate blood sugar. That's something we talk about a lot on this show. It's important. So apple cider vinegar is going to prevent blood sugar spikes, which is going to help, again, prevent insulin spikes. The reason you don't want to have insulin spiking is because when insulin spikes, you can't burn fat. Even more importantly, when insulin spikes, you have cravings, usually not for broccoli and carrots. So what basically happens is when your blood sugar spikes, right? You just had a huge package of gummy bears and oh my God, the blood sugar went so high because you ate a ton of sugar. Now, what insulin's job is it chases up the blood sugar and it pulls it back down to a safe level. But what it does usually is if the spike is too big, it pulls it back down a little too far. Now we have a blood sugar drop. So we had a spike, insulin went up, pulled it down, but it pulled it down a little too far. What that means is now when our blood sugar drops, oh my God, we could be lightheaded, we could have cravings, all that stuff comes into play. This is the reason insulin sensitivity is very good. You want your body to be sensitive to it. So you don't need a ton of insulin to pull your blood sugar back down. Over time, too much of that blood sugar spiking and too much insulin can lead to diabetes, which I'm sure you've heard about people with diabetes being concerned with blood sugar. So again, I ate some gummy bears, up went the sugar, up went the insulin, down went the sugar, again too far, and now, like it's an hour later, I'm craving gummy bears again. I really would like some gummy bears. Big Al, can I get some gummy bears over here? Now, if I'm trying to lose weight, obviously this does not help me to have blood sugar spikes. Is apple cider vinegar going to be the cure-all where you can eat whatever you want and blood sugar is not affected? Of course not. This is something that you're using as a tool to make it easier for you. Don't celebrate it where now you're downing movie theater packaged candy by the dozen and, you you go to the movie theater and you have like 15 boxes of Mike and Ike's and you're like, don't worry about it. And you eat a box and you take a shot of apple cider vinegar. That's not a good idea. So the other reason that apple cider vinegar helps us with fat loss or fight against fat gain is it's shown the acetic acid in apple cider vinegar actually helps prevent lipogenesis. Lipogenesis is when your body stores fat as triglycerides. Now, if we're not storing fat and triglycerides, which is kind of packaged away, that means it's more bioavailable in our bloodstream for our bodies to use. Again, very good. Apple cider vinegar is often tricking our bodies into thinking we are deeper into a caloric deficit than we actually are. Which apple cider vinegar should you buy? You want to buy Bragg's. That's my favorite. That's a good one. It's going to be raw. It's going to be organic. It's also going to have what's called mother, the cloudy stuff you see in there. That's basically probiotics, yeast, and bacteria that's stored in the apple cider vinegar. There's fiber in there too. Speaking of mother, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there last week. So it's basically probiotics. They're good for you. The probiotics are an added gut boosting benefit. Side note, you also do not need to refrigerate apple cider vinegar. Good question though. So when is the best time to take apple cider vinegar? Listening to researchers and studies and people with opinions, I frankly think a lot of them are overthinking it. Take it every day. If you take it in between meals, it's going to make fat more bioavailable to use to burn. If you take it with a meal, it's going to help your blood sugar levels more. I mean, as long as you're taking it every day, you're good. One of the things I don't love in the fitness community is when a fitness influencer or whoever, tells you something that's kind of simple that you shouldn't need a 50-page manual to take apple cider vinegar. I'm giving you the benefits. I want you to know the good things about it, but this shouldn't be overcomplicated. Take it every day. You'll be good. If it varies when you take it, you'll get different benefits. All in all, it's doing good things for you. It also doesn't mean that if you take it with a meal, you can't have the lipogenesis benefits. And if you take it without a meal, it's not going to help your blood sugar. So when do I take apple cider vinegar? I usually take it as part of the wellness shot that we gave the recipe to last episode. I take it usually in between like lunch and dinner is when I'm taking it. Why is that the best time to take it for me? Because it's when I'm most consistent. It's when I have a moment to take it. I remember it. We don't need all the minutia and semantics. That's when it's easy. That's when I do it. And it's health and wellness, right? It's not punching a clock. And like with a lot of things in life, I think consistency is a lot more important than doing things perfectly. So it's kind of like dieting too. What's the best diet for you? The one you feel best with, the one you can stick to. Let me know your experiences with apple cider vinegar. We did a whole wellness shot with it last episode. Let me know if you tried it, and I'd love to know in the future if it helps you as well.